Welcome to unity. Welcome. Welcome to unity. Welcome to unity. Welcome to unity. Welcome. Join us in singing. Join us in prayer. Join us in touching hearts of people everywhere. Welcome to unity. Welcome to unity. Welcome to unity. Welcome.
Welcome to all. Good morning. Just know that we have, this is so exciting, we have people joining us from not just all over Vancouver Island, but the surrounding islands, Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, and many parts of North America. It is such an honor to be of service and to invite all of you into this inclusive joining of spirit. Unity is a positive path of spiritual living, a place where you are welcome and accepted. This is a great place to explore what it means to have a spiritual identity and a place to remember that you are a unique expression of the divine. We recognize and celebrate the value of all faith traditions, and we welcome you to join us in your own form of creative expression. We are streaming to you today from the traditional and unceded territory of the Snuneymuxw people, and we acknowledge that we live, work, and play and create on the traditional and unceded territories of the Indigenous peoples of Vancouver Island. Haichka.
It's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. We want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart.
Wow, the words of wisdom slide. That's a lot of pressure for a young guy like myself. Well, I'm going to do a reading from the Daily Word because today's was wonderful. Thankful is today's daily word. Thankfulness is my heart's natural expression. I need no special reason to be thankful. No list of blessings to inspire gratitude. Unity author Reverend Eric Butterworth wrote, "One can be grateful with the same spontaneity as being happy. It simply flows forth from within and becomes a causative energy. With a thankful mind and heart, I release worry and frustration, trusting that my every need will be met. I discover more of God's presence in myself and others everywhere I go. I see possibilities for good even in challenging circumstances. Eager to share my thankfulness, I welcome opportunities to be of service to others just as I gratefully accept blessings shared with me. I live in the flow of life, love, peace, and abundant beauty. I am thankful." And from Scripture, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." 1 Thessalonians 5:18. And please join me now in that celebration of thankfulness. And let's take a moment to connect in prayer. Just allow my words to be your words. We say, "Thank you, Creator. I'm sorry for ever thinking that I was not fully taken care of, that all of my needs would be met, and that abundance of life, love, and prosperity would flow to me at every moment in this life's journey. And with that in mind, I lay all of this in your hands, knowing that I am fully taken care of, and I can move forward with complete trust." We say, "Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit." And so it is. Amen. And now we will have a song with Laurel.
Spirit of rainbows and what's on the other side. wise people say that's right. Many have fought it, but if we all did it, the world would be changed overnight. What's so amazing is consciousness raising. What do we all want to see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under love's spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them call my name. Is it the sweet song that calls to the young hearts? The voice may be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. Something we feel but can't see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Ooh, ooh,
Bravissimo.
Thank you, Laurel. Laurel
That was lovely.
performed that song by request because I knew it would just so complement our theme today, which is connect. So, oh my goodness, I'm just going to have to open the right file here today. April 20. I have a touch screen, and you just have to be ever so careful what you touch, because I got something weird here. File open. You're enjoying this, right? Thank you. So, our third wondrous word after welcome and accept is connect. And thank you again, Laurel, for leading us into that theme with the beautiful, beautiful words. Do you hear those voices inside? That is our connection. You know, we often say that meditation or walking in nature or prayer or beautiful music connects us to God. But the truth is, we're always connected to God. We're not connecting to God, we're reminding ourselves that we already are connected, infinitely and eternally connected within the One. And again, I say I'm like a broken record. When unity prays with you, that's what we're doing. We're reminding you and ourselves, because we're in this together, you know. We're partners in this creation of yours and mine, of our experience of this world. So we are reminding ourselves that however things are, the truth of us is that we remain connected always connected with the power and presence that we call God, or whatever you choose to call it, Spirit. We call it whatever feels right for each of us, knowing we are always connected in it. When Reverend Vicky does her lovely openings, and often she will lead us into prayer, and she will say and so we connect in spirit. Not with spirit, but we connect in spirit. And that's very powerful for me and instantly gets it out of my head. And it reminds me that I am one with the group. And it is just the group, the connection in that group that does the work. So I find that when I remember that I am in spirit, connected in spirit, miraculously, everybody else seems to get connected too. Because, emotionally we connect, influence and affect a whole lot more people, a big wider circle of people than we might think. So at a board meeting, if one of us comes in anxious or angry, it sets a difficult tone. People sense that, and the whole meeting can be, well, you've been to those meetings, right? And that's why we start always our board meetings with a check-in. Because if I have struggles going on, anxiety going on, if I share that with the other people that I'm working with, somehow it gets lighter. They help me carry that load, and then I'm able to be more present and able to contribute more. If, on the other hand, everything is going wonderfully well in my world and I share that joy, that lifts everyone else up too. We are so connected on so many levels. We don't understand all this vibrational stuff, but we know that we experience it. So the impact of our compassionate nature, and calm means with, passion, feelings, feeling with each other, the impact of that is on so many levels. It reaches out to everyone and through our whole community. Do you remember the shampoo commercial? I told 2 people, and they told 2 people, and they told 2 people, and so on and so on. Remember that one? That really is how it works. That's the network of human connection. And that was way before Facebook. And don't get me wrong, social media is a very wonderful aid to connection. My goodness, we've all connected with so many people. In fact, sometimes I wonder if the World Wide Web isn't indeed the universal mind we talk about. But that's a whole other talk. So we all have our connections, our circle of close friends, and we have a tendency to want to stay with those people we're comfortable with and to rely on them. And if we need help or advice or guidance, we want to go to them. But if we really want something to change, if we really want to move forward and expand our consciousness, sometimes we need to connect with those further out acquaintances, not so close. For instance, in 1973, there was a landmark study called The Strength of Weak Ties, and that was conducted by Mark Granovetter at Johns Hopkins University. And for example, they found that if someone was looking for a job, the best lead opportunities are much more likely to come from the acquaintances at the perimeter, the circumference of your experience, than those close to you. Why? Because the closely knit groups that you belong to, they're always there for you, anxious to help, anxious to offer advice, but they're also people who know roughly the same things you already know. So the point is, our distant acquaintances might have the ability to expose us to opportunities that we just don't know about. And that's why I'm so excited about Unity Vancouver Island. I have had personal Zoom calls with more than a dozen new members this week. And man, we are having a wealth of experience and knowledge joining us. Strengthening our connections, enlarging our connections. So the Strength of Weak Ties study also found that venture capital firms are using social media to share details about investment strategy and discuss publicly online the very information they used to hold close to their chest. And they find that they are discovering more opportunities than they would otherwise. The research shows, quote, that they more than made up for whatever competitive edge they lost by giving outsiders a peek at what they're up to. Isn't cooperation a lot more productive than competition? And it really challenges us to move away from competition and into cooperation, and we'll all do a whole lot better. But you know, there's a tendency to keep what's ours to ourselves and not want to share it. You know, sometimes when I'm writing a talk and I'm almost finished, I get another really good idea. And what I really want to do is just quickly go and start typing next week's talk. I want to save this one in case I run out for next week. But what I have learned is knowing that I'm connected in infinite mind, infinite, I know that if I give everything I have now, I'm just creating more space for more to come in for next week. And that's the whole principle of circulation. It's the principle of tithing. You've got to prime the pump. One of my earliest memories, I was 4 years old, and living in an old farmhouse out in the country, and watching my mother pumping on the pump on the kitchen sink, and there's no water. But what she did was she went out to the rain barrel outside and got water and poured it into the pump. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with the physics, is the water has to get down to the level of the standing water in the pipes, and then the pump can start to suck it up. So simple, and such an example for the way we lead our lives, connecting by cooperating. Have you heard of the story, the theory of the 6 degrees of separation? The theory is that anybody in this whole world is only 6 introductions away from you. In other words, somebody you know could introduce you to somebody, who 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 could introduce you to the President of the United States, or Desmond Tutu, or Lady Gaga, or whoever you want to meet. 6 degrees of separation. And that chain or that ladder goes both ways, up as well as down. You can be connected in 6 degrees by the wealthiest, most famous person in the world, and also by the poorest peasant in the remotest part of the world. Maybe that's how we climb the ladder of success, by just connecting and connecting. And speaking of ladders, you all have probably played a word game called the word ladder. And it's the technique by where you change a letter in a word to make another legitimate word, and then change another letter, and then you finally relate. So to relate frog to toad, take frog and you change the G to an M, and you get from. Change the F to a P, and you get prom. Change the O to an A, and you have pram. Change the P to a G, and you have gram. Change the M to a D, and you have grad. Change the R to an O, and you have goad. And then the G becomes a T for toad. See, it's all connected in there. Everything, all these infinite possibilities, everything is right in there in the infinite mind of God. We just have to sort it out, put it through our filters, and pick the right words, the right ideas, and the right attitudes to get the experience we want. So we really are naturally connected, all of us. So why are we so intent on labeling ourselves and separating ourselves? Is that protection? Is it greed? Is it fear? Maybe. But I think the underlying belief of all that is that we think we're separate from God. We think we're separate from our good. We think we're separate from our supply. And so we need to protect ourselves before it runs out. But we're not. We're not separate from the divine spirit, whatever you want to call it. And that's why we call it the presence, because it's always present here where we are. Some of you know that I did a play last fall that is the most wonderful script I know. And it features a 90-year-old backwoods illiterate redneck woman who is dying. And she's ready. She's seen a whole lot of death in her lifetime. She says, I buried my parents, my husband, and all 5 of my boys, all of them. If there's one thing I know about, it's death. But she doesn't really. She knows about it, but she doesn't know it. She hasn't experienced it. None of us have. And she's frightened. Even though she's seen a lot of death, she's frightened. But she has no connections left. She has nobody to work through her fears with. So she turns to her only connection that she can think of. It's her youngest older brother's middle son's first daughter's third child by her second marriage, Luann. And Luann writes to her. And she's never met Luann, but she feels this connection with her. So just before she's dying, she makes a videotape to Luann to leave for her as follows. I wanted to let you know how much your letters have meant to me. And them pictures you sent, sure did love them pictures. Can't believe you're a teenager already. I'm glad you've been thinking about me. I've been thinking about you too, all the while I've been knitting this here sweater for you. See, it's a picture of an old orchard used to be on the hill out there. Thought you might like to see it. Wish I could see you. Give you a hug. This is probably the only time I'm going to get a chance to talk to you. Suppose I should be giving you advice. Folks expect old folks to do that, give them advice. But you young women nowadays, you're so bright, so independent. What can I tell you? Don't even know myself what I know. This little farm here, it's been my whole life. The animals, the trees, the flowers, the bugs, it's been my whole life. Maybe it's like this sweater, the way everything in the whole world is, connected. You see, each stitch in this sweater, they ain't much by themselves. But you break even one, and the whole sweater falls apart. Now, I might not know what my life's been for, Luann, but I do know that the good Lord put me on this earth for a reason. And even if it's only like a stitch in the middle of this here sweater, to hold on with one hand to the stitch that comes before me, and with the other hand to hold on to the stitch that comes after me, even if that's all I was put here to do, Luann, that's still a mighty important thing. And that makes me a mighty important person. I think that's all God wants any of us to do, honey. Hold on to each other and to this sweet earth He give us with all our might. Guess that's about all I got to say. Give Mommy a hug for me, will you? I love you, sweetheart. I love you. And that, to me, is the whole thing. It's the whole thing. We're all connected like the stitches in a sweater. And if any one of us breaks or fails, we all do. We all do. We are so connected. Let us not forget. We each of us have two physical hands where we can reach out and connect with two people. But the metaphor is, psychically, spiritually, we can reach out and connect with as many people as we want. And they reach out and connect with many others, and so on and so on and so on. And so we're like a giant geodesic dome covering the whole planet with our connections. Because never forget, it's not that we're connected to God, we're connected in God. We're connected in God. Because God is everywhere equally present. And don't use the word if you don't like the word. Use present, spirit, source. But we're all connected within the one. We are one, all of us. One with God and one in God. And so now I invite you to listen as Ken and Laurel take us into meditation.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there is release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find love, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find love. In the silence there is light. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find love, I find God, I find myself.
And join with me now in the silence. And we open our hearts to hear those words from inside. I am that I am. I am love. The one presence, the one power, active in the universe and in my life, is within. And I am within it, connected to all of life. I honor and respect all forms and expressions. I am one with God. And so it is.
You go. No, I go.
No, you go.
No, you go. No, I go. No, you go.
Here's what's happening. But wait. I wanted to share something about Patricia's talk. Because I was so fascinated with the degrees, the 6 degrees of separation, and especially the connection to the president, because I actually worked on a film set with Morgan Freeman, and he played the president of the United States. So we're this close. Anyhow, thank you, Patricia, for that continuation of our 7 words. And we are now Unity of Vancouver Island. It is official. Yeah. Yay. And Gitsela has gotten up to celebrate as well. I really want to acknowledge the board here at Unity in Nanaimo for their amazing work. And then, of course, all of our wonderful congregation that see the opportunity that is in front of us to invite all, not only from the island, but from everywhere in the world, to join us in our celebration of life that we do on an ongoing basis. So thank you for that. So make a note, unityvancouverisland.com, and donations can be made to donations@unityvancouverisland.com. Donations@unitynanaimo.org is no longer active, so strike that from your records, please. After service today, Unity Victoria special members meeting. May divine guidance be with all of you. I think there was a newsletter that they sent out which will have your contact instructions on how to join that Zoom meeting. And after service today, we also have fellowship with Heather Hodge, and that is for everyone to join in. And the Zoom meeting for that is 837-117-6280. And the passcode is 9, capital C, 9, capital A, small h, and X. And that's for everybody. So wherever you are, you can join that Zoom meeting. Exploring Our Common Ground with Reverend Vicky, Fridays, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. That is Pacific Standard Time. This week, love is her topic. And there's a Zoom meeting on the screen as well. It looks like the same meeting ID and number as today's congregational gathering. Yes. Green Faith Tree Planting. Help plant 80 plus trees. These were all presented to the city on Global Day of Action, March 11th, and the trees will be planted along the E and End right-of-way, Saturday, May 1st at 10 a.m. Registration link is in the newsletter. And you can remain grounded and stay connected with Reverend Patricia, Monday to Saturday at 9 a.m. on our Facebook page. And prior to our service on Sundays, you can join Dawn or Margaret at no longer Unity Nanaimo Facebook page, but actually Unity Vancouver Island Facebook page. And I think on our website, the link has not been updated to Unity of Facebook. That might be a problem. There was some people commenting that they couldn't get into the Facebook Live today. So just do a search. If you're having troubles, just go to the search on Facebook and just type in Unity Vancouver Island, and it will come up as an opportunity, and you can select that and get right back into our page. We didn't change the page, we just changed the name. And now, Nicholas Rhodes.
With the proper spelling.
Oh! It's the way French people spell it. I'm just putting it out there. That's what it's about. Okay. Connection, eh?
you, Nico. Kyle, I am just going through some notes here on YouTube. There's a request to put back the donation email for Vancouver Island, which is now on the screen. That's great. But they're also wanting the passwords to the congregational fellowship meeting again. So if you're needing to write that down, it's on your screen now. There's donate at unitycomoxvalley.com, donate at unityvictoria.com, and donations at unityvancouverisland.com. And then the password and the Zoom meeting is not that one. There we go, yes. The after service today, the fellowship with Heather Hodge. That Zoom is now on your screen. And meeting ID is 837-117-6280. The passcode is 9, capital C, 9, capital A, small h, and X.
A little bit different on this one. This one's got a capital X at the end.
Ooh.
So we'll just have to try both.
Yeah. And you can always just play this again in replay and fast forward to this area, hit pause, and write those bits of information down for yourself if you didn't catch them while we were live. All right, and with that in mind, I will invite this from ourselves to all and say thank you for this opportunity to contribute to one another as we bless all of the amazing gifts, share our gratitude, knowing that we are fully taken care of. We are each truly blessed. And we say thank you, and so it is. And our abundance affirmation: divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
God is my source, God is all, God is my source, all is God.
And join me in our affirmation for Unity Worldwide Ministries: a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our children's blessing: we see the light of God shining as you. We love and appreciate you just the way you are. And please join us next week here at 10:30 a.m. for Reverend Vicky's Wondrous Word number 4, Love, and a special appearance by Yavel Velazquez, who will be singing on next Sunday. So please join us for that. And now for our prayer for protection. The light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen.